Hello everyone, welcome. If you are brand new to this group and you don't know who I am, I will introduce myself. I am Brianna. I am the founder of this group and I help teenage girls and young women end anxiety, depression, self-loathing, self-harm, suicidal thoughts, eating disorders, so that they can really step into their power, their confidence, and love themselves. I wanted to do this Facebook Live. It's all about why your daughter is living the biggest lie. And if you're thinking to yourself, like, what is she talking about? Like, the biggest lie? What? My daughter's not living a lie? Well, stay tuned because maybe she is. Maybe she is. Hi, Noreen, I caught you, or you caught me. We caught each other. Happy to have you here. For those of you who are joining live, please let me know you are here so it doesn't feel like I am doing my very own monologue. And just let me know you're here by typing live in the comments. And of course, if you're joining the replay, just let me know that you are here by typing in replay. And of course, if you have questions at any time, please, or comments, leave them below. I always like to make, if I can, I love to make these interactive. So if you have questions, I'm not sticking to a script. I don't have a script. I just come on here when I have things that I want to share with you and things that I want to talk about. I hit record and we go. All I got is a title for this and that's all I know. I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth and we're just going to go with it. But I want to talk about this one thing because it is, hey Terry, thanks for joining me. I want to talk about this because it is really important. The biggest lie that your daughter may be really living in right now is how she sees herself, okay? Because I get on so many coaching sessions, so many group sessions. I'm talking to so many girls each and every day. I'm talking to so many parents as well. And the number one thing that I'm hearing from all of these girls, all of these young women is, I don't love myself. I hate myself. I'm ugly. I'm disgusting. I'm worthless. I don't deserve to be here. I'm a waste of space. These are all the lies that, and if your daughter is saying this kind of shit to herself as well, she's living the biggest lie ever as well. And here's the problem with all of this, because your daughter doesn't even know that she's living a lie. She thinks she's living the truth, and she's not. But every day that your daughter wakes up and she says to herself, I hate myself. Every day your daughter says that she doesn't want to be here. Every day that your daughter is living in suicidal thoughts. Every day that your daughter is cutting up her arms or her legs because she doesn't know how to deal with the pain of life's challenges when they come her way, right? They are living a lie. It is a flat out lie. When your daughter believes that she is worthless, that is a big lie. When your daughter believes she is a waste of space, that is a lie. When your daughter believes that she is not lovable, that is a lie. When your daughter believes that she is not enough, that is a lie. And so we wonder why the mental health is such a horrible epidemic, and so many girls are suffering, and so many girls are wanting to kill themselves and ending up in inpatient. So many girls are going from therapist to therapist to therapist, trying to figure out what's the cure? What's the cure, right? You know what the cure is? The cure is your daughter learning how to love herself. That is the medicine that your daughter needs to be able to start healing and to doing the deeper work here. Your daughter's not getting that in therapy. Most likely. If your daughter is learning how to love herself in therapy, then that's an exception and great, right? But most therapists are not specializing in teaching girls how to love themselves. They're just not. And so when we look at the lies that your daughter is living in each and every day, and this is not, I need you parents to understand that the lies that your daughter is telling herself is not just like fleeting, like, oh, just like one or two little lies here and there. It's not a big deal. No, that's bullshit. Your daughter is saturating and feeding her mind all throughout the day this limiting bullshit that she believes to be true about herself. It starts from the moment she wakes up in the morning. It starts, she goes to the bathroom mirror, she looks at herself, she tears herself apart. It starts when she goes into school and she starts comparing herself to other people, right? It starts when she's feeling so bad about herself, she feels like she's not measuring up, and then she starts with all of these horrible things that she is saying to herself, right? This is the lie. These are the lies that your daughter is living in. Now, how can we free your daughter from all of this? How can we free your daughter from this facade that she's living in? Because it's not real. It's not true. Your daughter is it's like she's living in a reality that's just simply not true, right? What kind of reality is your daughter living in when she's having suicidal thoughts every single day and thinking of a plan of how she's going to kill herself? What kind of reality is that anyway, right? Again, it goes back to the lies that she tells herself. These lies have become so ingrained in your daughter that you can try the best that you can to just rip out these lies and be like, oh my God, sweetie, you're so smart, you're so beautiful, you're so capable, you have everything to live for. Why do you feel this way? You're so loved. Mom and Dad, we love you so much. Why are you feeling this way? And then your daughter just looks at you. And you're trying to feed your daughter everything that you can because you're like, why can't my daughter just see how much she's loved? Why can't she see that she is enough? Why can't she see that she matters, that her life is important, and that she is here for a reason? Why can't she see all of that? And you don't understand. Nobody understands because it's so difficult to get into your daughter's head. But here's the deal. I do this all day, every day. I talk to girls. I work with these girls. I've been doing this for years. I know what is going on in here based on all of this work. And so it's not enough, Noreen, sounds exactly what I did. Yeah, it's not enough for you parents to, of course, love on your daughters. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that's wrong. Keep doing that. That's not what's going to help your daughter, though, at the end of the day. Your daughter needs to learn how to love herself. I'm going to say it again. Your daughter needs to learn how to love herself. Your love that you have for your daughter is separate from the love that she has for herself, or lack thereof if she's hating herself. Two different kinds of love here. Two different kinds. So the love that your daughter has for herself is separate and different for any kind of love that's coming from outside sources or people or family members or you or her dad or anybody else. That's separate. And so when girls are going into inpatient facilities because they just tried to kill themselves, or they're going into the ER because they need to be stitched up because they self-harmed too deep this time, and now it's really serious and now it requires stitches to heal that, right? When girls are going into residential treatment facilities and they're going off for 3 months, 4 months because they're in a really bad place. What is going on here, and what are the lies that your daughter is still telling herself about herself that are simply not true? Here's what I was explaining in my group coaching session from, when was it? It was just Tuesday. We just had a group coaching session on Tuesday. I'm like, when was it? This week goes by so fast. I don't even keep track of the days. And I was saying that, I was telling them about like what happens when we were doing a healing practice, okay? And I was explaining like what happens when you go through life. Because when your daughter is born, she's like, when we're babies, like, right? Like we do nothing wrong. Like we're so cute, we're so innocent. Like look at us, got our cute little chubby cheeks and we've got it all going on, right? And then when we get older, we're like 4 or 5, we're still so cute, we're still so innocent, we think we're unstoppable, right? And then things happen. Things happen. Trauma happens, right? Painful experiences happen. People do unkind things to us. And your daughter, and school, bullies, everything. And then your daughter makes meaning with everything that happens in her life. I'll give you an example. So she goes through some horrible trauma. Your daughter makes a meaning about it. She makes a meaning about that trauma, and she says, see, I'm worthless. I'm worthless because this would have never happened to me if I was worthy. And so your daughter starts making meaning. Our subconscious minds are meaning-making machines. And so your daughter, this is constantly playing out all day, every day, right? We are constantly making meaning about things that are happening in our lives. So your daughter is doing the same. So every time something doesn't go your daughter's way, every time your daughter has been through a painful experience or some sort of trauma, your daughter has made a meaning about that. And the meaning is about herself. And it usually goes something like this: I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm not enough, I'm a waste of space, all of it. It's all bullshit, but that's the stuff that she's saying to herself because she's making meaning in regards to what is happening in her life, what she's going through, right? That's how the subconscious mind is constantly working. It's making meaning. It did this when she was 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old. It's still doing that. It's still making meaning over everything. And here's the beautiful part of this healing work. When your daughter actually starts doing this work, she can start seeing the meaning that she tied to different situations, and she could be like, no, not true, no more. I am not living a lie for one more second. What happens when your daughter actually sees the lies? Now that parents is a beautiful moment, because when your daughter starts seeing the lies that she has been telling herself, then she gets to do something about it. Your daughter cannot change her life as long as she continues to see those lies as truth. So your daughter has to do the work, and this requires being self-aware, which requires doing the healing work, so that your daughter can see all of these lies of I am a waste of space and I'm not enough and I am worthy piece of shit and all the stuff that she tells herself. She needs to understand that they are lies, not truth. And when your daughter can start seeing that is when transformation can start. It's not where it ends, it's where it starts. It's when it just gets really good, because then your daughter starts taking control of her life. Your daughter cannot take control of her life as long as she is feeding into the lies of I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, this and that, I hate myself, why am I here? And what is that feeding into? It's feeding into your daughter being a victim of her circumstances. Is that empowerment? Absolutely not. That is not empowerment. That is disempowerment. That is victimhood. And your daughter doesn't get anywhere by being a victim. Period. She doesn't. So what does your daughter have to do to get out of that victimhood and start feeling empowered? Number 1, start seeing the lies and start speaking truth. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Absolutely, Noreen. Yeah. So the lies are so convincing though, because your daughter has been buying into the lies for so many years that when she starts learning this, there's going to be a lot of resistance, because who would I be if I was happy? Who would I be if I loved myself? Who would I be if I actually treated myself with love and compassion? Who would I be when I make a mistake and instead of Instead of feeling like I'm a failure and I'm a loser and I'm a pathetic person, who would I be if I met myself with love and compassion? Who would your daughter be then? You know what? She would be someone different. She would be someone different. And here's the thing about being someone different. The mind is going to resist that because the mind wants to keep everything the same, familiar, and what is comfortable. If your daughter has been living in depression and self-loathing and anxiety and self-harm and eating disorders and suicidal thoughts, and that's where she's been living for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years even, maybe even more. Stepping into someone new, stepping into a new identity is going to freak your daughter out, and she will not be able to do this on her own. I guarantee it. It's just not going to happen because the resistance is so freaking strong. It will repel it. Probably scary for her. Absolutely, Gina. So she will repel it. She will self-sabotage herself. She will push it away instead of allowing it to be like, okay, it's uncomfortable, but I'm leaning into it. She's not going to do that if she's just trying to do it all on her own because she's not an expert. She doesn't know what she's doing. And she's like, okay, well, I'm trying to believe that these are lies, but it feels like truth. So I don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? Not going to happen. It's just not happening, right? So what happens? Your daughter goes back to the lies because that's what's comfortable, that's what's familiar, and that's where she lives. Well, it's easier to believe that I'm worthless. It's easier to believe that I don't matter. It's easier to believe that I'm not enough. What happens? Where does your daughter go from there? It just keeps going. And it's not going to just stay the same. It will get worse and worse because the longer your daughter is feeding her mind with all of this of unworthiness, of self-hatred, of self-loathing, of the guilt, of the blame, of the shame that she hasn't allowed herself to let go of, the worse it gets for her. And I'm here to tell all of you, Dangerous Circle, yep, Noreen. I'm here to tell all of you that one mental health issue can multiply into 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, you name it, who knows how many. If you don't get a handle on one, it's going to be 3. And if you don't get a handle on those 3, it's going to be 5. I had a call yesterday with parents and a girl, and they're like, well, we don't even know like she's got an eating disorder, she's got anxiety and depression. Like we don't even know what to tackle. They're all bad. Oh, and don't get me wrong, self-harm and suicidal thoughts. They're like, what the hell? We don't even, like, where do we focus? And then these poor parents are telling me that their daughter has been to 3 inpatient facilities, 3 different ones. They were all horrible. The last one taught their daughter how to cut, how to go deeper with that. It was an awful experience. You know what the dad referred to the inpatient facility as? Advanced babysitting at best. Advanced babysitting at best, excuse me. You think everyone is sending their daughter to an inpatient facility because that's the glorified, like, end-all be-all to helping your daughter love herself? Absolutely not. You know why so many parents, and this may be you too if you have had to send your daughter to an inpatient facility, you are doing that for one reason and one reason alone. Because you are scared to death that if you don't send your daughter to an inpatient facility, that she's going to kill herself. Or that she's going to cut herself so bad and you don't know where that's going to lead her. Those inpatient facilities are places to keep your daughter safe because they're monitoring them, right? A lot of them to give them the right medication, the right dosage, figure all of that out. But don't get it, hold up, how do I want to say this? Don't get it wrong that your daughter is not going into an inpatient facility to heal, and she is definitely not going in there to learn how to love herself. She is not doing any of those things in there. Those places though, like look, if your daughter is threatening suicide or if she's just tried to kill herself, what options do you have? you're like, well, shit, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to take my daughter. I'm afraid that if she stays home, she's going to kill herself. I got to take her somewhere. So of course, I've heard so many horror stories though. I've heard so many horror stories from girls that I have worked with who have been in these facilities, and also parents who have sent their daughters to facilities like this. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do if your daughter is trying to kill herself? Is the residential treatment facility like the best place for your daughter? I don't know. What I will tell you is this. I've also had a ton of clients who have been to residential treatment facility, and their parents are the ones that immediately when they get after those, they're coming directly into my program. Why? Why? Because they're still not loving themselves. They still got a lot of issues that they have to work through. They might be better, but they're not in like an amazing place. Some girls are, and if that's your daughter, like that's great. Thank you, Noreen, who says my program works. Thank you, I love you. So it's like we have to look at, I'm speaking about this in all sincerity, and I don't mean to, I'm not here to toot my own horn that says, oh my God, my program is the best thing since Wonder Bread or anything like that. I know my program works. It has helped hundreds of girls and young women transform their lives. So I know it works, and I'm going to continue to talk about something that is going to work for your daughter, and it's going to be up to you if what you want to do with that, right? I'm just here to give you the information. You can do whatever you want with it. But I want to tell you, it breaks my heart, and it really hurts when I hear so many parents that they're literally, it's just kind of like they're spinning because they're trying all the things to help their daughter, the therapy, the medication, the doctor's offices, the neurologist, the residential treatment facility, the ER visit, the this, the that, the this, the that. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish you just would have done my program like 3 years ago so you could have avoided all of that. And I've heard parents say this to me. I wish we found you sooner. So you have to ask yourself, if you're watching this and your daughter is struggling, you have to ask yourself, is what you are doing like working? And if it is, that's great. Fantastic. Obviously keep doing what's working. Don't change it if it's not working. I found you, so glad I found you before. Me too. Me too, Noreen. So it's like, if what you are doing is working, keep doing it. But if it's not working, then I always say it really takes a special person to like look outside of the box. Because the box, I'm going to tell you what the box is. The box is the traditional approach. Here's the box. Therapy in the box. Medication in the box. Inpatient in the box. ER visits in the box. Outpatient facility or residential treatment facility in the box. In the box. These are all in the box. This is like standard protocol of care when your daughter is struggling with her mental health. But let me tell you this. The mental health, the whole system is completely flawed. It's not working. And if it was working, don't you think that there would be far less girls struggling with their mental health than they are right now? Right? Don't you think there would be way more girls loving themselves than hating themselves and wanting to die? Yeah, absolutely. So if the box is not working, then why not go outside of the box, right? Why not look at something else that has a proven success, which my program does have that because there's so many testimonials and you can look through all of them and hear the stories and hear the transformations. It's like, these girls aren't lying. Speaking about lies earlier, my girls don't lie. They tell the truth. And Noreen knows this because her daughter was in my program and had a massive transformation. And so it's available, and it's available to anyone who is sick of the traditional approach that's not working and is ready to try something new and different, right? But what we do here is I say it's like not for the faint of heart, meaning your daughter has got to want the help. She's got to be committed. I don't just take anyone into my program. They got to be ready. They got to be committed. They got to want to change their lives and be open to getting the help. If your daughter is rigid and set in her ways and she's not coachable, I'm telling you right now, not a fit, not a fit. But if your daughter is past the point of like, oh my God, like it's January 22 and we're still dealing with this shit. If your daughter is in that place, you're in that place, and you're just like, what are we going to do? This cannot keep continuing. We cannot keep doing this over and over and over again. Then the answer is to try something new, try something different. What I offer is a holistic approach. I'm not, saying get your daughter on medication. That's not what we do, right? We're not band-aiding anything either. Your daughter doesn't need a band-aid. She needs surgery, and the surgery is the healing. She needs to get into her heart. So many girls are living from here. They're living from here, and down here, it's like dead. It's numb. I had a girl, a 17-year-old girl who just came into my coaching program, and she was saying to us that, she doesn't really feel much of anything because she suppresses everything to the point of she doesn't feel anything anymore. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God she's in our program, right? Because she needs this so much. She's not the exception. Most girls are also doing this. They're living from here, and in fact, they're just living in their egos and in their heads, and they're not, what's down here? Guess what down here is? It's your daughter's heart. She's so far removed from her heart. If she is living in a sea of anxiety and depression and self-loathing and self-harm and suicidal thoughts and eating disorders, your daughter has lost this. She's lost how to come back into her heart. And she's here. And here, this is where the lies are. I'm stupid. I'm no good. I'm not enough. I'm this, I'm that, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm disgusting, I'm a waste of space, I'm not enough, I shouldn't be here, I don't matter, my life doesn't mean anything, I'm not lovable, I should just kill myself. All of the shit that your daughter is saying to herself every single day, it's coming from here, it's coming from her ego, and she's lost the way to get back into her heart. That's it. That's it. And if your daughter, you're trying all the things because you're going through, you're in that box. Because that's what you've been raised on, doing things that are in the box, right? But there are other things that can help your daughter that are outside of the box, that are outside of the traditional approach that the doctors are saying, well, this is the way to work. This is what is gonna help your daughter. The Prozac, the Lexapro, the this, the that. Let's band-aid your daughter's trauma. Let's band-aid it because we don't know how to deal with it. So let's put a band-aid over it and pretend it didn't happen. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. I'm going to tell you right now because I don't want mean comments coming my way. I am not against medication. So please don't leave any mean comments to me. I'm not against medication. Look, if your daughter is trying to kill herself and she needs that medication to help her, I have no issues with that. But what I do have an issue with are girls that are being put on medication and they're not doing any of the healing work. Because guess what? That trauma is still stuck in their bodies. That trauma gets lodged in there. Because trauma, pain, suppressed emotions, that gets lodged in the body. It does. Look up the research. It's all out there. So that stuff gets lodged in the body. So how is the medication going to actually heal that? It's not. It's not. And how many of your daughters are on the medication and maybe it's taking the edge off. Maybe their anxiety is a little bit better. Maybe their panic attacks aren't as intense. Maybe they're not having as many suicidal thoughts. But is your daughter loving herself? Is the medication helping your daughter to love herself? Is it helping her to come back home to herself and meet herself with love and compassion? Is it helping her to process through her emotions in a healthy way? I don't think so. I don't think so. So it's like you just have to ask yourselves these questions, right? Because we just got to get honest and clear, and let's get rid of all the bullshit that's getting in the way of your daughter getting the healing that she needs. She doesn't need a Band-Aid, she needs the operation. And the operation, the best way for her to have the operation, it's not a real operation, but the best way to have the operation is to go into the heart and for her to start feeling so that she can start healing her life. You want to read a good book, everyone? Go read Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. It's true. That woman, she's passed away, bless her soul, but that woman cured herself from cancer when I think she was in like her 50s. She is the guru of self-love. So your daughter can heal. Your daughter is not stuck with just bad genes because, you know, people in your family had depression and anxiety, so therefore your daughter has it, and then now she's a lost cause because it just runs in the family. I call bullshit to that. That's simply not true. There are so many cutting edge doctors out there and scientists that have proven that your daughter's genes have nothing to do with, like, there's so much else that's going into your daughter having or struggling with her mental health. Joe Dispenza talks about this. Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about this. There are so many people that are talking about this. The research is out there. Your daughter's genes are not like the end all be all. They may contribute, absolutely, if there is a history in the family lineage of people with depression. It's coming down the family line, it's coming down the family line, it's coming down the family line. And yes, your daughter, there is a higher likelihood that your daughter's going to have it too. But does that mean your daughter is screwed? Does that mean your daughter has to go through life struggling with her mental health? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But what we haven't really, what a lot of people don't understand is we have more control over our mental health than we have, than the doctors are telling us. What happens when you go to a doctor's office? 15 minutes later, you got a diagnosis and your daughter is out of there with a nice little prescription of something. Right? What about going deeper? I know the doctors, this is not what the doctors do, right? But what about you as a parent thinking about, but what if my daughter needs something else than that? And you can do the medication, but like, what else is going on? And then the therapy, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. I get so frustrated because every day I'm talking to more girls and they keep telling me the same thing about therapy. It feels like a venting session. I keep focusing on the problems. Feels good in the moment. Doesn't really help. I'm still depressed. I still want to kill myself every day. I'm still cutting up my arms and my legs. So how is therapy helping? Well, you know, it's good to get things off my chest. Well, that's great. It's really great that you want to get things off your chest, and that's important, but that's not going to get your daughter to heal her life. That's not going to get your daughter to stop having those suicidal thoughts. That's not going to get your daughter to start loving herself. She's got to do more than just a little bit of venting. I got to speak the truth unapologetically. This is what I teach my girls how to do. Speak the truth unapologetically. So I'm going to do the same damn thing, and I'm going to speak my truth unapologetically because the mental health system is completely fucking flawed, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these girls coming to me that have tried to kill themselves, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, can't you, like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. And it's like, it's the parents, you parents have to start looking at a different approach, a holistic approach. Your daughter, her mental, her emotional, her physical, her spiritual, this is all holistic. When you're going to a doctor and they put your daughter on medication, all they're doing is giving her medication that's going to work, do something here. By the way, your daughter's mind is not broken. If she's struggling with anxiety and depression, her mind is not broken, but she believes that it is. She probably believes that it is, right? So they're giving your daughter the medication and it's like, okay, so that works, it's going into the mind, but what about the body? What about your daughter's heart? What about her soul? What about the trauma that's still stuck in her body to this day that she hasn't even dealt with? What about that? Medication is not going to make that go away. It's just not. So again, we have to look at a different approach. the mainstream cookie cutter little box of what we've been told is the right way. Is it the right way? In my eyes, it's not. It really isn't. I've had so many girls come into my program over the years, because I've been doing this for years. Massive transformation in a matter of a few short months. When they get off the meds, they're right back where they were because they didn't heal exactly. And then you're like, and then if your daughter gets off the meds because you're like, oh, she's doing so much better, let's just, off the meds. And then your daughter is like going back to suicidal thoughts. She's going back, and then, still the eating disorder, and still this and still that. I have a client who goes to a boarding school, and I was talking to her the other day, and I find this so interesting that she says over half the girls at her boarding school have eating disorders. I'll say it again. Over half the girls at her boarding school have eating disorders. That's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous that many girls are struggling with eating disorders. And I have worked with a lot of girls who have had eating disorders, right? Don't get me started. Don't get me started on a whole nother tangent, because I can go there too. There's so much to talk about and so much to say. I know this has been a really long Facebook Live, but it's really important. If your daughter is struggling with her mental health, you have to look at, what are you doing? Is it working? Is it not working? Looking at and going back to the whole topic of this Facebook Live, the lies that your daughter is telling herself. That's really what it comes down to. Because if we want to focus on anxiety and depression and the self-harm and the suicidal thoughts, again, we can focus on that, and then all we're going to do is band-aid that up. But if we actually want to take a step further, we're going to be like, you know what? I don't want to band-aid that up anymore. I want my daughter to have the surgery. And in order to have my daughter have the surgery, she actually has to do the healing work. That's it. And a lot of people are like, healing? What? Healing? I got to heal from my past? I got to heal from my trauma? Yeah. How many adults have gone through life and they're waking up in their 30s or their 40s or their 50s or their 60s and they're like, shit, I never did the healing work. And then they start. And if any of you parents are there, I honor you. Like, seriously, I wholeheartedly honor you for going the path and doing the healing work, because it's not an easy path to go through. But wouldn't that, if you think about it, like how much it would have been different had you excuse me, I can't speak English right now. How different it could have been had the healing started at a younger age. And we have to look at this for your daughters as well. How different can it be if your daughter learns to love herself at 13, 14, 15, 21, 22, 18, 19, versus going through life and waking up as a 60-year-old divorced person and wondering where she went wrong, and why she still doesn't love herself, and why she keeps getting into toxic relationships with guys who are hitting her and abusing her, and why she still doesn't love herself. Why? This is really serious, because everything comes back to your daughter's relationship with herself and your daughter loving herself or hating herself or somewhere in between. And this goes into the lies that your daughter is telling herself each and every day that is feeding into the lie. That's it. That's it. If you would like my help, I am going to leave a link below. You can schedule a call with me, but there is a caveat. Do not book this call if your daughter does not want the help. I am not here for just anyone and everyone. I mean, I love what I do, don't get me wrong, and I want to heal the world, and I want to help to heal as many girls' lives and young women's lives as I possibly can. But if your daughter doesn't want the help, she is not ready, and she will not be committed, and it will be a waste of everybody's time and energy and effort. So I'm not the person to work with your daughter if your daughter is not ready. If you've watched this far and you're like, well, we've been trying all these things and nothing is working and we really got to figure this out, then that would be your opportunity to schedule a call, okay? Then we can figure out if this is a fit, if your daughter is a fit for my coaching program. She has to be committed, she has to be willing, she has to be ready to make some big changes in her life. If she's not there, again, hold off on scheduling a call with me. Wait till she is ready. I have a lot of parents that reach out to me that think their daughter is already, and then we get on a call and they're just not. And my time is valuable. I don't have time to get on a call with every single, I'm doing these calls myself, and I'm doing the coaching and so many other things that you guys don't even see behind the screen. So I don't have time to just get on a call for every single person. Daughter needs to be ready for change. Absolutely, Lisa. So having said that, if your daughter is ready, and you know if your daughter is, and if you don't, have the conversation with your daughter. Ask her. Don't just assume she's ready. I have a lot of parents that assume their daughters are ready. They're not. Have the conversation. Does your daughter want to change her life? Is she ready? Is she committed? If the answer is yes, schedule a call with me. If it's a maybe, don't schedule a call with me. She's got to be ready. She's got to be ready. Because this is a 12-week program, and we don't mess around in this program. We really don't. It's not a 5-year program. I don't need 5 years with your daughter to help her change her life. I need 12 weeks, but I need your daughter to be all in. If your daughter is not there, again, this wouldn't be a fit. With that, I know this was a very long Facebook Live, so I'm going to go. I'm going to take my little dog Annabelle to the park right now. She's looking all spiffy because she just got groomed this morning, so she's going to I'm sure she's going to show off her cute little Annabelle do. So with that, I will leave the link below. If you would like to schedule a call with me, you can go ahead and do that. And if you have comments or questions, if you've watched this far, below you can write, if you were here for the live, let me know you were here for the live and write live below. If you were here for the replay, go ahead below, write replay. And again, if you have questions or comments, leave them below and I will be sure to answer them. With that, have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you guys. Bye.